Okay, I'm just testing. My presentation hasn't started yet. I'm just testing so far. Testing. All right, well, welcome to Agora. My name is George Donnelly. I'm going to give you a short talk about Agora, where it comes from, what it's about, and I'm just going to do a quick sound check here to make sure I am actually coming through before I start my talk. And it looks like we're good to go. Okay, well, welcome to Agora. I'm so pleased to have you here at our first conference called Etienne, named after Etienne de la Boétie, which I probably pronounced wrong, the guy who wrote Discourse on Voluntary Servitude several hundred years ago. Why did we name it after him? Because he was one of the first libertarian thinkers, and this is our first unconference. This is an international event. We have speakers coming to you from South America, North America, and Europe. May even have some coming from other places. So this is truly an international libertarian event. Agora is called the Agorist Unconference because it is a free, online, non-hierarchical liberty conference that operates according to agoristic or anarchist or just free market principles. No matter what you call it, Agora is pure freedom. Agora is not just about liberty. It also operates according to libertarian principles and in a non-hierarchical manner, or at least as non-hierarchical as I've been able to figure out how to make it. Anyone can participate, anyone can give a presentation. create a channel, recruit new speakers, you name it. And you can make money doing this. It's a free market showpiece in a box. Traditional conferences require that you buy tickets, travel, possibly go through a TSA checkpoint, pay for the hotel, pay for food, and be away for 3 days. Not Agora IO. You can participate from your comfy couch without changing out of your PJs. But that doesn't mean it's only an online thing. No, Agora IO also has local meetups. You can organize a meetup in your local community where your friends meet in one spot to participate in the conference. And you can bring all your local Agora I speakers to the meetup and have them deliver their remarks live and in person while you broadcast their presentations out to the world. It's really the best of both worlds, both online and in real life, without a lot of the hassle and cost. While Agora IO doesn't sell tickets, although local meetups can certainly do that, and the meetup in Philadelphia that's happening tomorrow is decided to take voluntary book purchases as kind of an entry fee, which seems innovative to me. We do ask that you donate to or tip those presenters that you most enjoyed. Sorry, just want to do a little sound check, make sure I'm still on the air. Many of the speakers on the speakers page, let's head on over to that speakers page. They have chip-ins or other ways to take donations. For example, people associated with an organization may have an organizational donation page. They'll have their chip-ins or their links here, or other ways to donate. And if the speakers offer a service, for example, they may mention it in their talks, please consider patronizing their service. Really, this is a dizzying array of expert speakers. We've got 78 talks or more on the schedule now. It's an amazing bargain. As I said before, you don't have to pay for tickets, transportation, food, or lodging. It's free to you, but it did take a bit of work for all of us to make this happen for you. The speakers don't get paid by the conference. We don't charge for tickets. We don't sell tickets. So of course, how would we have anything to pay 78 speakers with? So they depend entirely on your donations. So I'm going to kind of give the cry for the children thing here. The suggested donation is, if you can afford it, of course. Pick your 3 top speakers that have a way to donate, and give them $10 each. Come on, they're really earning it here. And I don't expect you to do it right now, but as you see these people talk, and as you enjoy their presentations, please consider sending a few bucks their way. For example, we have Jim Babb here of We Won't Fly, a great guy. He's not taking chip-ins, though, donations. Catherine Bleich is taking donations. She'll be talking about transitioning from Agora's theory to practice. Josh Carter is going to be talking about construction with Agora's principles. Construction is generally an industry in which more, agorism, more kind of at-will work, more kind of ad hoc stuff can happen. He's got a chip in. Sorry, going to do another test to make sure I'm still on. All right, seems like it. Got a lot of great speakers who aren't even taking donations. So just because I'm not mentioning them doesn't mean... but for example here, Karen Emery, she's not taking donations, but she runs Del Valley Silver, which sells silver with a very low premium. In case you don't know, silver is a precious metal traded worldwide and has a price that varies internationally based on trade. But when you go to buy a 1 ounce coin, say at Apmex.com or something, you're going to find a premium. That means what you have to pay for the coin above and beyond the spot price, the current price of silver. Well, Karen sells her silver at a very low premium compared to just about everybody else on the marketplace, even the big guys like the Canadian and U.S. governments. So you may want to buy silver from her. I have a chip in here. I'm going to be talking about open source peaceful evolution for fun and profit, Sunday, 4 p.m. Eastern, on this same channel. Ian Freeman has a chip in. He's the host of Free Talk Live. Pete Eyre. Battery Friedman has a donate button right down here. I don't know if you can see that. Right over here. Let's see who else has a chip in. Ron Helwig, Ken Hastings, Debbie Harbison. These are all excellent individuals giving great talks. Thomas Kay, who made the George Ought to Help animation. Neil has a chip in, but he needs to shorten his bio. Mama Ali. William Pearson is giving a talk about IT security for activists. That's really very important. Drew Phillips talking about silver. Nick Seorsa is giving that talk with Philip. Drew. Neil Schulman, Curtis of Porkfest, Mark Stevens, Mark Thomas, a really great guy who has made this conference considerably better. Jason Talley. And that's about it. So please consider giving these fine individuals some donations for their talks. Can everybody hear me all right? Just want to do a sound check before I keep going. And this is one of the features of Agora.io. I'm typing in the chat box here. This is a way that you can send questions to speakers. All right, well, I'm going to continue. We also have sponsors, and our sponsors are well respected and very appreciated. Please click through to their websites. You'll find sponsors above the channels and on the sidebar and on the schedule. Our gold sponsor is freekeen.com. We also have two excellent silver sponsors, the Foundation for a Free Society and Liberty Voice, and we have many other excellent additional sponsors on the sidebar. So please, consider patronizing them as well. We can't continue to do this without our sponsors and speakers. They're really the heart of the operation. What does the name mean? Agora.io. Kind of a funny name, huh? The name is, let's break it into two parts. Agora and then IO. Agora means an open marketplace. This is from ancient Greece. It was a market space open to everyone in the community where people could trade, make conversation, debate politics. And I/O is a computer term meaning input and output. In other words, a conversation, because that's what a conversation really is. I give input, you give output. And somewhere in there, hopefully, we come to an agreement, whether it is a plan of action, to trade, to be friends, to share ideas, you name it. So Agora.io means a conversation in and or about the marketplace. Why? Why is Agora.io so important? I'll tell you. If you're a libertarian or an anarchist like me, you want to achieve a libertarian society as soon as possible. I can feel it, and I want it, and I have to have it. I'm going to pause until I can have my liberty, not just for me, not just for my wife, but also for my small son. Because really, as a parent, you want the best for your children. So it's not just about our generation, it's about the next generation. And it's about, 20, 40, 60, 80 years from now, when we're on our deathbed, what we'll be able to say to our kids about the difference that we have made. And so when I'm on my deathbed, I want to be able to say that I want to be able to know that I have made a difference. And Agora.io is one way to do that. I think it has the potential to be a really great way to do that. It's a really integral part of this process. So in order to have liberty, we must become expert communicators so we can clearly and persuasively explain our point of view. For those we cannot convince, we must neutralize them, not with a neutralizer ray or anything like that. We have to neutralize them kind of ideologically. We must be so convincing, in other words, that even though they disagree with us, they won't get in our way. Not that we're going to do anything wrong by getting in our way. I mean, they're not going to trample on our liberties. They're not going to support tyrants who are going to trample on our liberties. They're basically going to kind of back away from this status scam. To put it another way, we need to divide human beings into three categories. Those who get liberty and want it, those who are hesitant but are willing to go along for the ride, and those who despise us, disagree with us vehemently, but won't get in our way. In other words, we've neutralized their opposition. We also need community. We need to know each other, our allies. We need to know each other not just in North America, but everywhere. I'm talking about Brazil, Egypt, Europe, China, you name it. Liberty is a fundamental human need and desire. Our resistance, and thus our community, must be international. We need a feedback loop, an evolutionary path for our activism, our strategy and tactics, so that we can continually improve. We need to be a step ahead of the state in terms of avoidance, resistance, and rhetorical tactics. Anything less than that means failure. Agora.io is a platform that has the potential to help us meet all three needs. Here we practice communicating and listening. Since anyone anywhere can participate, we can make friends everywhere. And the discussion and debate arising from the conference gives us a chance to shine a spotlight on previously unexamined assumptions, spark new ideas, and evolve our movement. Agora.io is the Agora of the worldwide liberty movement, and the Agora is our heart. So now that you have a basic understanding of how Agora.io works and how important it is, I'll get into more detail. Just after I check to make sure it's still on the air. I've done a bit of live streaming and it hasn't always worked flawlessly. So just doing another sound and video check here. Anyway, I'll keep going for now. Excellent. So, oops. So, in Agora.io, there are 13 roles. That's not roles as in bread rolls, but roles as in roles in a movie. You intersect with the Agora.io concept at one or more of these 13 roles. You can take on as many roles as you like. Central to the Agora.io concept is that your participation must be sustainable. If it is not, it will not continue, no matter how strong or well-intentioned you are. This has been proven over and over again in libertarian activism. For example, Liberty Forum in New Hampshire this year was canceled, and I can't help but note that they never turned a profit from that. It was always a break-even thing or a slightly lose-money thing. And the participants didn't really have a chance to make any money as far as I can tell. And I love Liberty Forum. I really enjoy it, but that's not sustainable. So the activism must be profitable in money or personal satisfaction. Otherwise, the activist will lose interest. They'll have to get a real job or spend more time on their current job or find other ways to make money and sustain their lives. That's Liberty 101, stay alive, right? She will not reach her goals. So as you hear each of these roles, consider how it can be made profitable. Presenters give presentations or talks. That's pretty easy, or at least simple. Recruiters select presenters they want to engage with. They pitch them on participating in the conference. They do what it takes to prepare the presenters. Moderators, I could use a moderator right now, work with those presenters who need help managing the conversation that occurs during their presentations. For example, moderators can handle people who Skype in to talk or pass questions from the text chat to the speakers. Techies can help participants and presenters with the technology required to make the event a success. Ambassadors take the Agora I/O pitch to relevant communities, both online and real life, in order to solicit their participation, thus expanding the reach of the event. So what do I mean when I say ambassadors take it to the relevant communities? For example, reddit.com, that's a relevant community. They have a libertarian subreddit. dailypaul.com, that's another community. Ron Paul forums, Free State Project and their forums, that's another community. Let's see, your local meetup, your local Liberty on the Rocks meetup, or your local Ron Paul meetup, or in Philadelphia, the Truth, Freedom, and Prosperity meetup, or the Valley Forge Revolutionaries meetup, or the Libertarian International Organization. These are all different kinds of communities, and Agora I/O needs ambassadors to go out, be our liaison, be the liaison between these two communities so that everybody can mutually profit. Channel makers. Channel makers organize presentations by theme and create channels for participants' convenience. For example, right now I'm on the Peaceful Evolution channel. Oops. Sorry, thought it might be important. Sponsors fund the conference in return for advertising and love. Donors make contributions of money, time, or something else to participants, to other participants. All right. Meetup organizers. Meetup organizers create meetups in their local areas so that participants can experience a real-world Agora I/O component. Collaborators organize the whole thing, answer questions, and serve as the glue to hold it all together. For example, I'm a collaborator. I hope to have another couple, but I had to do it with help from other speakers and channel makers like Mark Thomas, David Derby, Jim Babb, Ethan Lee Vita, Ross Kenyon, and I really appreciate that help. If Agora I/O had a CEO, it would be me, but I dislike this title stuff, and I definitely don't want to be giving people orders. As much as possible, I want to work with others on Agora I/O as equals, as peers. Participants find presentations they want to participate in and do so. Thinkers share their ideas with the Agora I/O community, and everyone thinks about how to make it a success and spread the word. So, how do we get paid? Agora I/O is not really a conference. It's a marketplace, masquerading as a conference. So each of the 13 roles I just discussed has something to offer and or something to gain from participation. The key is harvesting this value. For example, a presenter is offering her time and insights. This is really a value. She has an audience watching too. This is also a value. She can ask for donations or a purchase in return for her gift of her presentation. She can promote her product or service during the presentation and gain more customers. Or maybe she just gives a really great presentation and thus her personal reputation in the Liberty community soars. Recruiters can make money by bringing presenters into the conference. Recruiters are middlemen. They have to explain the opportunity to the speakers and lock them into a contract for some percentage of their take or other form of compensation early on in the recruitment process. Middlemen have a really intangible thing to offer, which is connecting people. But nonetheless, it is valuable. For example, investment bankers are middlemen. I worked as one briefly. And let me tell you, they get paid a lot of money. Techies can charge for tech support services. Ambassadors can bring in donors and speakers and profit by taking a cut. Ambassadors are also middlemen. Channel makers can sell ad space to donors on their channel page. For example, right above here is the sponsorship placement of freekeen.com. Donors get the satisfaction of feeling they are a critical part of the Liberty community because this just can't happen without you. Meetup organizers can leverage this opportunity. If that was one of you guys, sorry, I'll take Skype calls in a minute. Meetup organizers can leverage this opportunity to strengthen personal bonds in their local community and make money from book, video, and food sales. There's certainly more roles and more ways to make money than what I've described here. The sky really is the limit. Let me tell you about channels. Channels are at the center of the Agora IO experience. This is where the conversation happens. As I mentioned before, Agora's name is Agora plus IO, and this means a conversation in or about the marketplace. So we're all about the conversation. Anyone can organize a channel. All it takes is a commitment to program it with speakers, preferably along some common theme. Channel makers control their channel page and can choose whatever tech they deem appropriate for it. They decide who gets scheduled at what time. Channel makers have a lot of responsibility. I'm managing 3 channels this time, and I'm hoping someone takes that over for next time. Agora.io can handle an unlimited number of channels. Think of a spreadsheet and how it goes off indefinitely towards the right. Let's see. For example, here is the spreadsheet schedule, and as you're used to seeing a spreadsheet, it goes off indefinitely to the right. So each column in the spreadsheet is a channel, and there can be any number of them. They can go off to the right to infinity. The more channels there are, the more competition. There is among them, and the more choice participants have. And that's really the market at work. One blogger who wrote about Agora.io the other day said his biggest complaint was that there were too many choices of speakers to watch. And, we only have 3 full channels this weekend. Fourth, the NCAP Entrepreneur Network is just on Friday. So, imagine maybe in September at our next one, we might have 10 channels. Imagine that. How to give a talk? Well, making a presentation is very easy. You just need a basic upstream internet connection, hopefully a 1 megabits or higher, a webcam, a microphone, and some earbuds or headphones. Let's head on over to justin.tv, and maybe it'll let me show you. So basically, you make an account in justin.tv, you log in, and you click this webcam button. And that brings you over here. You'll hit allow here. Okay, pay no attention to that eyeglasses silliness. It's checking your connection and all that stuff. And then a little gear will appear bottom right, which is obscured by my picture in a picture. There's the little gear. So you can click on here, configure your video, select your camera, select your bitrate, click on it again, set up your audio, pick your microphone, and then you just hit start broadcasting. You're good to go. So, as you can see, it's really not complicated at all. I'm showing myself in a picture here with a web page because I'm using Wirecast, which is a $450 application. It's pretty neat. It's overkill for this, but I've used it for other things. But there are also free applications that do similar things. There's Cam Twist on the Mac, and on Windows there's something called VH Screen Cap. If you need help with the Mac, I'm your man. If you need help with Windows, Mark Thomas is a good guy to talk to. He's running the NCAP Entrepreneur Network. We still have slots open this weekend, so please step right up if you'd like to give a talk. We also have lightning talks on Sunday at noon. It might be on the Creative Media channel. These are 5 to 10 minute presentations. We still have slots open, so if you'd like to give a lightning talk, please let me know. We'll get you on the schedule. I've also been working on roundtables on different topics where 5 to 6 individuals can get on the stream and talk at the same time. Been a little short on time, but if you're interested in being in a roundtable, we can organize it in a snap. We wanted something on strategy, on agorism, and if you have a different idea, I'm wide open. And this is not our only Agora I/O On conference. We're having another one in 6 months, if you can believe that. Agora I/O, the idea is for it to happen every 6 months on the last weekends of March and September. The idea is to keep the conversation going in a quick and dirty fashion. It doesn't have to be real pretty. This is not your grandfather's jacket and tie conference. The iterations need to progress rapidly. Release early and often, they say, in the open source community, and I agree. If you have any ideas for our next conference, September 23rd to the 25th, 2011, let me know. Let's schedule your talk. Maybe you can start recruiting speakers or take charge of a channel. We're calling it Lao Tzu in honor of one of the very first libertarian, or at least anti-authoritarian thinkers. Thanks a lot for listening. I really appreciate it. I'm surprised that 30 or so people came out to participate in my talk at 9 a.m. Eastern on a Friday morning. You can get in on this live stream. We've got 15 minutes left. You can get in by Skyping me at georgedonnelly.com. That's my Skype username. You can also call in if you don't have Skype. It's 941-538-6399. That's 941-538-6399 or georgedonnelly.com if you're on Skype. And chat with me live. Give it a try. It's harmless. So I'm going to go to the channel now and read your chats. So send me your questions. I'm going to scroll back in the chat. Let's see. Excellent. Glad you guys could hear me well. Something I always worry about. Thanks, guys. Thanks. Really appreciate it, guys. Sorry, Nick. So, any questions for me about how Agora I/O works? Anybody want to get on chat and get on Skype and chat with me about it? So I'm taking your questions. That could be you in the box to my left, I guess. Taking your questions. Thanks, Pete. Good question. And here I'll post my Skype nick again. So, what's the best way? Pete asks, what's the best way? That could be you. For viewers of a session to interact with the person heading up the session. Well, some of the people who are heading up the sessions are not comfortable with technology. So I've advised them to talk for 30 minutes, just like I did, and then come on over here and check the chat room for questions. And so what you can do is right in this Facebook, let me bring it up here. Right in this Facebook live stream box here, it's called the live stream box or live chat box. Just first uncheck this, the post to Facebook thing, unless you wanted to go to your wall, and type your question. And then the speakers should know to check that box, just like I'm doing now, for any questions that you might have. Some speakers will be able to take Skype calls like I'm able to do. But I suspect most people will only be able to take questions from the chat. So thanks for that question, Pete. So David, what are you wearing? David says he's not in his pajamas. Pajamas are like your Agora IO uniform. Cadet. So Nick asks, would it be all right if he goes on for 15 minutes early to test the channel and make sure it's working well? Yes. Officially, the 2 minutes before the channel starts, before your talk starts, belong to you. So if you want more than that 2 minutes, just let me know, and I'll make sure the time's free for you. But generally, it's pretty safe. We might have a few ads running between the talks, but so far, almost all that time between the 45-minute mark at the end of one talk and the hour mark for the beginning of the next talk is completely open. Oh, yeah, of course. Nick's talk starts at 9 a.m., just like mine. So you can go on as early as you like to start practicing, Nick. Feel free. David, bedhead is the official haircut of Agora IO. Come on. Yeah, that's great, Nick. That's perfect. Okay, I hear my Skype going. Okay, so Jake sent me a text question via Skype. You can also call me on Skype, and I'll bring you online. Jake asks, what do you envision as optimal spacing between conferences? 6 months, quarterly, or yearly? Honestly, I have no idea, but I think 6 months is good because I'd at least like to try 6 months because quarterly seems like a little too much. It's a lot of work, and it demands a lot of attention from people who participate. Excuse me. Yearly seems like too far apart. You know, you kind of lose track of it. You lose something there. You lose some kind of connection. Whereas 6 months seems like it might be in a sweet spot. What do you think? Let's see. Okay, so feel free to call in Jessica or Sapanale. Thanks, Jake. Jake says it sounds good to him. Thomas, who's giving a talk about effective libertarian propaganda. He's made the George Oughta Help animation. He's working on a sequel. He needs your donations for it. You can find his sponsorship on the right-hand sidebar. It says, you know, if you enjoyed George Oughta Help, be a part of the sequel. He's crowdsourcing it, the funding. Maybe it would be a good idea, he says, in the future to stagger this somehow. And I think that's a great idea. And I'm definitely open to ideas. I'm really just playing this by ear. I'm kind of skating by on the skin of my teeth on all this stuff, and it's worked out pretty well. So I definitely want to keep it totally open to people's ideas. And for example, if you think 6 months is too long, if you want to do it again in 1 month or 3 months, it's all yours. Go for it, and I'll help you out. And if you want to do a special 1 day event, or a special just you giving a talk or covering an event, amen. Wide open for you to do whatever you like. Which sessions am I most excited about personally? Well, I'm looking forward to Jim Babb's talk. He's going to compare how Spooner, who went up against the post office monopoly, about how that went down in flames. And then he's going to compare that with how Bernard von Nothaus has been persecuted by the Federal Reserve. There's kind of a similarity there, an analogy there. Spooner, 160 odd years ago, or 50 odd years ago, goes up against the post office monopoly. Bernard von Nothaus today goes up against the Federal Reserve monopoly. Spooner got off just with having to settle a lawsuit and close his business. But, as we live in a police state today, Nothaus is facing 25 years in jail. So these are very important lessons to learn, and I'm looking forward to that. Also, Mary Ruwart is going to talk about how to advance liberty without winning elections. So, she's kind of a politico. She's an anarchist, but she's also a politico. She's on the Libertarian National Committee. So that should be pretty interesting. Ian Freeman, who is also our gold sponsor as Free Keen, he's going to talk about pirate radio. And, he's the host of Free Talk Live, probably the leading libertarian or at least anarchist radio show, and Liberty Radio Network. So I'm pretty excited about that too. Let's see. Low-hanging fruit in the movement that should be addressed, Pete Ayer asks me. Let's see. I think there are easy things that people can do that would be force multipliers. For example, videotape your activism. That right there, videotape, put it on YouTube, submit it to social media, Twitter, Facebook, Reddit. That's a force multiplier, because now not only did you do the activism and did people there see it, but now everybody everywhere can see what you did and be sparked to copy it or learn from it or evolve it. Another thing is mutual aid and press releases. There are a lot of people who need help. They're victims of the state, and they can be helped. And we've done it in the Liberty community many times. Gotten people sprung from jail, sprung from a psychiatric institution, got a baby returned to our parents. We've raised a lot of hell. It's a lot of fun. And we can keep doing that just by finding people who need our help, making a fuss about, getting the details, making a fuss about it, and sending out a press release and other media, maybe a website too. I sent out a press release for Sam Dodson a couple years, got some helped get some media coverage for the Free State Project, and I've done it for We Won't Fly. I've done it with others in support of Pete, and this is something that it's not too hard to do, and it's very satisfying. Okay, Nick says twice a year is a good idea. And David says maybe the channels can be kept looping after the conference. Yes, actually, you can't do that. You can't make it loop with Justin.tv, but with live stream, you can. And so I hope to put all these videos on live stream and then have the channel continually, just like you said, continually loop so people can watch them anytime. It's a great idea. Oh, that's a great idea, Thomas. I wish wish I'd thought of that. Stagger the channel start time so there's not 15 minutes of dead air on all channels at the same time. That's a no-brainer, but I didn't think of it. Thanks, Thomas. Amen, David. Got to find ways to bridge gaps with newer people and make algorithms seem less intimidating. The folks over at Silver Underground, the people who are making the Silver Circle movie, asked me to write a blog post for today. Should probably go up today sometime. silverunderground.com, explaining very briefly what agorism is. So hopefully that will be of help to at least somebody. Yeah, Nick, there probably will be 15 minutes of dead time. We were hoping to fill that time with advertisements. So, for example, Free King could get on there and for 5 minutes show an activism video or give a pitch, or the Berkey guy could get on and demonstrate his Berkey filter, which I have and I like. But just didn't work out well for this first one. We're still kind of feeling our ways. Hopefully for the next time. Jessica asks, when will all of the sessions be available there to view? Well, of course, you can watch them as they happen. But if you can't, there'll be an archives page. So under the... if you go to those red navigation tabs at the top, if you go to Etienne, you just mouse over Etienne, and then you click on, let's see, down at the bottom, you click on Archives. So that's where you'll find the videos. So anybody want to call me, Skype in, get in on the action here? Zapanale, maybe that, I'm not sure if that's the right pronunciation, asks, do bloggers still have a role to play in the movement, or are they a bit Web 1.0? I think bloggers have a huge role to play. I'm a blogger, and I always try to relate my blog post to the movement and where it's going. So I think blogging is so important. I don't think it's Web 1.0 at all. I think blogging is writing and talking in, this is an immediate way of conversation. Blogging is like email. It can be time delayed. When you read the post or when you comment or when you rebut someone's comment, we're always going to have blogging. And blogging is so important. Watching a video or listening to a podcast is very, labor intensive. It takes a lot of time and a lot of concentration. Whereas reading, you can zip through that in a couple of minutes, dash off a comment, and get into a conversation. So blogging is really important, and it's always going to be with us, in my opinion. I plan to keep on doing it indefinitely. My blog is at armyourmind.com, and feel free to plug your blog here a little bit. How long should talks be? That's Nick asks, how long should talks be? That's personal preference, totally personal preference. But if you want my recommendation, I shoot for 30 minutes of me blabbing, and then the remaining 15 minutes, or you can go over too, but just try to let me know if you think you're going to go over, or if you just want to have that go over space available. That can be the question and answer session, or the general lib session. If it ends early, that's fine, but hopefully there'll be enough comments to keep things right up to the end. Thanks, Alan. No, I don't do radio. I did try to do it once. I just couldn't keep up the interest. All right, Jake is calling us. All right, Jake is calling us. Hello, Jake. Are you there?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes. Let me get you on screen.
Wow, there's some feedback here. Holy smokes.
Yeah, you can pause.
I
You
can
can
button
pause
that
the
here.
Justin.tv feed on the web page.
Alright, fantastic. Got a pair of headphones. All is right with the world. Alrighty.
Do you
You
have
still here?
video?
Let's fix that. Alrighty, there we go. There we go. Hear everything again. No echo.
Sweet.
So the question I had was, is there a certain speaker who would have some insight on different agorist communities around the world or around the U.S.? Because it is kind of nice to have it all distributed, but also it would be kind of cool to live among some agorists.
Absolutely. And that's a great question. For example, Jason Talley is giving a talk about being the media in your community, and he's from Grafton. He's living in Grafton, New Hampshire, which is kind of the sort of a showcase agorist community up there. There are folks associated with the Free State Project. Um, and I'm sure part of his talk he'll touch on all the cool agorist things that they're doing up there. Also in Austin, I understand they're doing some stuff, and both John Bush and Catherine Bleish from Austin are giving talks. Um, Kent Hastings is, I don't remember where he's living, but he's kind of a big agorist dude, and he's giving a talk as well. Also, we've got 2 or 3 speakers talking about agricultural stuff, food production and whatnot. And at least one of them the focus of his talk is operating outside of state jurisdiction. So that should also kind of touch on your question.
Mm-hmm. Okay, well, I'll be sure to check those out.
Sweet.
Yeah. I'm actually living in New Hampshire with the Free State Project. I moved a few months ago, so there's certainly a decent community up here doing the agorism thing, which is excellent to see. But I wasn't sure if there were any other places that kind of spread throughout that I could also check out. I was under the impression that maybe there was some areas out in Southern California which had sort of an underground culture thing going on, but not more than sort of rumors that I've heard. I don't know.
Oh yeah, we're having that reminds me we're having a talk of about rave and underground culture from Zaida Dinia, who lives in Southern California. So that might be right up that alley.
What was the name again? Sorry,
Uh,
let me
uh,
write it down.
Zaida, Zaira, Dinia, Dynia.
All right, well, that's an interesting word. Alrighty, fantastic. Well, I'll check that out for sure then. Thank you.
Sure, yeah, she's on at Saturday noon Eastern on the Creative Media channel.
Alrighty, fantastic. Well, thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Well, thank you, Jake, and thanks for calling in.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let's see. Any other? I'm checking the chat for more questions. Okay, Ian asks, Ian, who's our gold sponsor for Free Keen. Thanks for that, Ian. Really appreciate it. And Ian also had me on Free Talk Live last night. Ian asks, what software are you using to bring your Skype calls to the Justin stream? Great idea. I'm using Wirecast. Wirecast. Let me see if I can show the Wirecast window here. Okay, this is kind of a little too iterative here. Let's see. There we go. Okay, so this is Wirecast. It costs a little bit of money. It's about $450, but it's like a TV station in a box. You know, you can switch between shots. You can put titles on shots. You can show different windows and screen regions of your desktop. And I'm also using something called Soundflower, which is a free utility on the Mac, to reroute sound around the computer. So I've got Skype feeding into Soundflower, and then Soundflower sends Skype to Wirecast. Does that make sense? Kurt. Hello, Kurt. Thanks for joining us. So, does that answer your question, Ian? Can I take any other questions? Anybody else want to take want to call in on Skype? I'm really impressed that I see 44 people watching this stream. Thank you very much. And this talk will be available later on. We'll post it to the archives section of the website. And of course, on the front page of this website, you can, there are 2 videos at the top that give you a welcome and an introduction to how this works. All right, well, I think I'm going to sign off, let the next speaker get on. Thanks again, everyone, for participating. I really appreciate it. And I hope you really enjoy the conference. I think it's going to be a great time. Have a great day, and I will talk to you later.